Let's take a look at the team news today then, and David Moyes is no doubt pleased to have Andy Johnson back in the fold. He returns from a groin injury. He's alongside Yakubu in attack. Stephen Pienaar, a Merseyside derby casualty, makes way. There's a rejig at the back with Leighton Baines returning, Phil Jagielka on the bench, and Tony Hibbert has a hip injury, while Manuel Fernandes returns in midfield. Paul Jewell names the same derby side that started the 2-2 draw with Fulham that confirmed relegation. Andy Todd returns to a ground where his father Colin played. Former Everton man Alan Stubbs ruled out with a calf injury. Jay McEverley, an ex-Everton schoolboy, is amongst the substitutes. Well, for the second weekend in a row, it's a derby clash for Everton. Slightly different to last week's momentous occasion at Anfield, which has done so much damage to their hopes of Champions League football next season. Derby County already doomed. Perhaps the pressure is off. What are you expecting today, Joe Royle?
Well, I think Everton need a good performance. They were disappointed themselves in their performance at Liverpool last week, and of course the result wasn't good for them either. But they do have a chance of getting right back in. There's no doubt that Liverpool have a slightly harder run in, so if Everton can get back on track today and get the goals that they need to win this game, I'm sure they'll be in with a good shout again.
Liverpool have to go away 3 more times before the end of the season. Everton with just 2 on their travels, although they do have Chelsea here in their next home game, Everton. This is Dean Leacock, the man with the bandana at the back for Derby. He was heavily involved in events last week against Fulham, the result which has finally confirmed what was the inevitable. And a bit of a mix-up early on involving Eddie Lewis, and the first corner of the game goes Everton's way.
Well, Eddie Lewis certainly isn't a total stranger to playing left back, but happier, I'm sure, in a wide position there, and gives away a needless corner,
which Everton will hope to make the most of. Lescott up there, he's proved himself a real danger this season. Johnson back to Arteta. Dangerous delivery, and Leacock, who got a goal last week, was close to another.
Well, a dangerous ball from Arteta there, whips the ball in short. Johnson doesn't make good contact with the first corner, but gets it back to Arteta, and well, Leacock there has made a clearance. I'm not sure how he got it over the bar from there.
More by luck than judgment, perhaps. Another opportunity for Mikel Arteta. Everton right on the front foot early on here. Lescott and Yobo poised around the penalty spot. Not a delivery you want to remember. This time it's defended by Emmanuel Villa. But Arteta retrieves. And that's a foul by Hossan Ghali. Well, a string of set-piece opportunities here for Everton in the first couple of minutes.
Yes, but not yet the delivery we've come to expect from Mikel Arteta.
Neville this time, that's a better one! And Osman to turn it in, maybe!
Free kick given. Yes, Andre Mariner got it right there. And Osman following in. Dangerous ball here played in by Phil Neville, you see. Goalkeeper came and missed, but a definite push on the back.
An almighty scramble there. Well, how it didn't end up in the net it's a bit of a mystery.
Good start though.
This is Arteta. He couldn't find the delivery, although Derby have some work to do to get that clear. Well, it's been a bright start to the match. This is Yobo. Fernandes under pressure, stolen by Ghali. He's got Miller in support. Stijovski arriving as well. And Howard forced into a save, which was more of a test than he originally thought, I think.
A good play by Derby, good enterprising football there. As we say, Howard forced into a save, which he managed to keep out, but still danger around here.
Well, Everton's pocket picked somewhat then. Hossan Ghali able to steal possession, and it was almost costly. It is Johnson showing a good burst of acceleration. Yakubu offside.
Yeah, the ball came a little late. He showed where he wanted the ball, Yakubu, with his strike partner there, just sort of a stride late, acknowledging that with his hand up.
Savage getting an important toe in there. This is David Jones, and now Lewis, or Ghali in fact. Lewis had made the run outside him, but it's with Yakubu up towards Osman.
Certainly an enterprising start from Derby. They've looked bright and breezy. Had a shot on target. There's nothing Paul Dew would like more than to come here to the Blue home and win one as an ex-Red.
Baines to deliver, and Yakubu! Well, that should have been his 20th goal of the season, no doubt.
Well, if David Moyes had wanted anybody under that cross, on the end of it, it would have been Yakubu there. They say feed the yak and he'll score, but this time they fed him and he didn't. Made a run round the back, it's taken a little bobble up and it's come off his shin and over the bar. Might end up on one or two videos, that one. Certainly a candidate for miss of the season, but he's got plenty in hand.
Well, Everton hoping to find the breakthrough. We've had over a quarter of the match. Yakubu battling with Moore and blatantly looking for a penalty, really.
Well, that was some heavyweight clash, Yakubu and Darren Moore.
Well, on we go, and Everton in the mood to get on. This is Arteta. Back to Lescott. In towards Johnson. Well, let's see if Yakubu had any sort of case here.
Just a coming together.
That's Baines trying to get the better of Stuyovski, and he has. And off Andy Todd.
A good play from Baines. Hustle and bustle there with Andy Todd. Wins a corner. Has produced the cross of the game so far.
Yeah, much of what has been good about Everton today has come from Baines down that left flank. Arteta's delivery. Leacock's header. Can Baines conjure another quality cross? It's more away, well, not quite away. Osman, he's not the tallest, but he does leap well, although Lewis beat him to that.
Good defending there by Eddie Lewis to the far post. Because you're correct, Osman is very, very good in the air for a diminutive player.
Yobo got a fair bit on that cross. Arteta to retrieve. Savage for company, onto that right foot. Here and Stuyovski, neither of them able to come up with a convincing clearance. And a free kick right on the edge. Well, the Everton pressure is at last mounting.
And Manuel Villa looking totally perplexed there. If he saw the replay, he would see that we've seen. It's just barged him in the back.
Well, a few candidates here. Arteta, the chief one. Well, he's hit one against Derby already this season. Can he come up with a stunning free kick here? Arteta's strike is well awry of the target.
Well, probably in keeping with his start to the game. It's certainly not the best we've seen from Mikel Arteta. His corners have been poor up to now. Hasn't really had any influence on the game.
Well, he is usually the man who comes up with the creative goods for this Everton side, and has so often this season. Well, Lescott complaining about a foul here. Was he being held by Moore?
The answer is yes, but how often is it penalised?
Well, he's had a few of those this season which have not been spotted by officials, let's say.
One very famous one here, shall we say, in another derby game.
Absolutely. I haven't forgotten that, it's fair to say. This is Ghali. In towards Savage, it was a brilliant ball. And we've got just over 2 minutes left in this first half. Can Everton find an opening? It's Yakubu. And now Osman. They are turning up the heat at last. Yakubu. Carsley. Almost wide. Will it be another corner? Yes.
A good play by Everton, and more of what they've got to do, getting into feet in the box, get Yakubu twisting and turning, get Johnson on the shoulder. They don't want to be playing long high balls, just won't work today against Darren Moore.
Lescott making his way in there again. Already 8 goals for him this season. And it was actually Lee Carsley who got on the end of it.
An unusual target from a corner. Has got 1 or 2 goals this season, Lee Carsley. Saw him score a cracking goal here, a last minute winner early on in the season, but not usually famous for his heading. See, just a bit of skirmishing there, and he makes a good contact on it. Good header. Again, handling, holding.
Lescott being held again. Andre Mariner either not spotting it or not choosing to act upon it. Remember, Mark Clattenburg gave a penalty for it at a game between Wigan and Blackburn earlier in the season, but he was one of the few to punish it. I suppose you'd end up with about 20 penalties a match if you did.
It's a foul. It's a foul anywhere else on the pitch. I don't see what the difference is. Referees must give it.
And Robbie Savage making himself heard.
Well, there's very few games go by where Robbie doesn't have a conversation with the referee, so
polite discussion.
And he is captain.
Well, absolutely. Well, 5 in the area for Everton. Whipped in there, and where's that going to end up? He's given it for the challenge by Lescott, presumably on the goalkeeper.
Well, I don't see what he's done wrong there. He's just trying to get in between the goalkeeper and the ball, making a genuine attempt to get to the ball. Hard one to understand, Mr. Mariner.
Well, in the final 20 seconds of the half. This is Neville. Well, nice knockings of this first half. First half where Everton haven't quite convinced, but they've had one glorious opportunity to open the scoring, which Yakubu somehow contrived to knock over the bar when the goal gaped. There's a little bit of controversy in the Derby goalmouth as well towards the end of the half, a fair amount of holding going on and some decisions which Jolyon Lescott might have seen go in his favour on another day, but not this afternoon. And at half-time, it is Everton 0, Derby County 0.
I should think, Daniel, it's been one of Paul Jewell's easier half-time team talks. They've done well, they've acquitted themselves well, they've had a couple of attempts on goal and generally been tight. So he'll just be saying more of the same. David Moyes has got to get after his troops, he knows that.
Well, certainly Everton will hope for better in this second half. They certainly need a victory. There's no margin for error really, given that Liverpool had opened up that gap with Derby victory last week. And the gap between them is 6 points at present, following Liverpool's draw at Arsenal. An expected victory, all the pundits, but it hasn't come anywhere near as easily as many hoped it might. That's Robbie Savage. Joseph Yobo underneath it, up to Yakubu, Arteta. That little spark of inspiration from somewhere, Everton.
Well, Everton tried to get on the ball in midfield. Usually Garley or Savage has appeared around them and made it very, very hard for them.
Garley has ridden that challenge from Osman. And that's a strike from Jones, and it was a venomous one. David Jones on the score sheet the once this season, but that's a relatively decent return. That was when they were 6-0 down at Chelsea, mind you. A goal today would mean a good deal more in the context of the match. Everton have a chance to respond, and Arteta to deliver. Can he find his range this time? Johnson, Yakubu, Osman and Lescott in the area. Fernandez and Carsley just outside. It's Yakubu who gets up. It's Carsley who battles for it. It's Garley who wins it. Todd up towards Villa. And Leighton Baines. And Howard's hands warmed a moment ago, as they were early in the first half by Emil Stojovski. So far not so good for Everton.
Again a long straight ball from Joseph Yobo there, the last thing they need. But he does need midfield targets. He needs someone to come in there and say, hey, give me the ball.
Hey, get out, Cars! Good, good.
Yakubu, will it open up for him? Right for Fernandez. Off the body of Darren Moore. Still Fernandez fights. And eventually wins the battle. He'll have another crack as well. And Yakubu with a chance. Oh.
A great passage of play for Everton. Ferocious strike there from Fernandez. Yakubu onto the rebound. Warming the crowd. See here, Hassan Garley doesn't quite get away with it. Fernandez picks it up. What a shot and a decent save by Carroll. And Yakubu fires across the face of the goal. Through for the Goodison crowd to cheer on.
Something to build on. This is Osman. Trying to get Johnson in down the flank again, but suddenly the noise level rises around Goodison. Suddenly there is that sense of anticipation again. Villa winning that free kick. Maybe embellished it a little dramatically.
Being generous, it was definitely a foul, but not with Pike.
Leon Osman, he did have that loan spell at Derby earlier in his career. It was a spell that really convinced David Moyes, I suppose, that he was worthy of a crack in the Everton first team.
Well, David's been talking him up as a possible England international now, which is nice for the kid, and certainly had a very good season to date. Had 1 or 2 injuries recently and taking time to find his stride again.
Well, can Everton get into their stride again? Darren Moore under that. Carsley and Savage with a wrestling match breaking out. This is Mears. Jones wanted it, but he'll use Andy Todd. Garley to Jones. Mears in towards Miller. Just lost his footing. It looks like the snow is beginning to fall with a vengeance again.
We just need some fog now. We've had
we've had everything but a plague of locusts, haven't we? This is Neville up to Yakubu. Dummy hoping to pay dividends and find Johnson. No conviction about appeals from the players, if there were any.
I think Andy Johnson quick there to say I wasn't looking for a penalty.
This is Baines. Fernandez really stung the hands of Carroll a few moments ago, and First real time. That's a great ball. Osman in, and Everton in front. And it's the former Derby man who strikes against his old club, and it's a vital breakthrough for the Blues.
Well, the pass of the match. Fernandez looked up there and picked out Leon Osman. Hassan Ghali. You see here Osman coming inside, Fernandez coming inside, and Osman makes a run. He's run away from Jones, totally lost him, and a great left foot finish. And David Jones there had him in his sights, and Hassan Ghali has given him a severe rebuke for not going with him. Midfielders, part of their job, they have to go with runners. And he arrives in the box there in glorious isolation to put the Blues in front.
Leon Osman is 7th of the campaign, and Fernandez finding him gloriously.
But certainly the pass of the match, it was outstanding, great vision and a great run from Osman, but really poor defending from Jones.
Just to remind you, it is April. Are Everton going to get the bit between their teeth? Are the floodgates potentially about to open?
And how did Derby react there? Because they've done very well up to now. They've been decent in the game without being a great danger. They've really stuck in and at it, and that's a red kick for them.
Baines. The first time cross, but Mears close enough to him to affect the block. And having got their noses in front, is there more joy to come for the Everton support? Here's Osman. It's an opportunity here, and Carroll makes the save. It's Baines looking to follow up. It's
Andy Johnson's down in the corner, Daniel. He caught one late there as he was attempting to cross the ball. See here the build-up where Osman ends up with another good shot. Good save by Roy Carroll.
He's got that familiar feeling again, his side behind. Is there any hope of a Derby comeback? Goes Lescott, Leacock there with Yakubu lurking on his shoulder. Oh, nice dummy by Miller, and Villa is onside here, and Howard makes the crucial save.
Well done to Howard, but a poor attempt by Villa really. To say he's through one-on-one with the keeper, he's not made him make a save, he's hit him with the ball.
Really the conviction in his attempt, and an Everton escape. But this is Arteta. This is Neville. This is Johnson. And Lewis able to step in.
It's certainly Derby's best chance of the game there, Daniel. Of course, Everton square and exposed, but that man just couldn't score that vital goal for them.
Kubu unable to gather that in, but real opportunity here for Emmanuel Villa to add to his growing goal tally.
Just a dummy there by Miller, and Villa's through one-on-one. Howard's come out very, very quickly and made a good save with his legs, but really a poor attempt.
We shouldn't be lacking in confidence, personally. Villa, after 2 goals last week.
But he's tried to hit across the ball somehow or other and sliced it with the outside of his foot.
Well, a golden opportunity at the Gladys Street end at Goodison for Derby to pull themselves back into this match. Certainly isn't to bed yet by any means for Everton. This is Johnson. He's got Carsley, Yakubu and Fernandez arriving. And Derby see the danger out. Lescott. More to win it. He's won his fair share of the battles against Yakubu today in the air, as you might expect really. Here's Yakubu again, looking to burst between 2 defenders. Away by Moore, but only as far as Fernandez. He's got to use Phil Neville and does. Into Osman. Osman strike. Oh, with some safety first goalkeeping.
Well, certainly the tactical change from David Moyes at half-time, moving Leon Osman into a central position, is paying dividends. He scored one, he's had a couple more shots.
Into Lescott! Well, these days when Julian Lescott finds himself in that position, you back him to score, but not that time.
Had a great start to the season. At one stage was Everton's leading goal scorer. See here from the corner, short corner, Derby caught asleep. And where's Lescott's marker? Free shot on goal.
Come on,
It's cut out by Osman, but Lewis is there. They switched off a minute there between them. Lewis and Moore, and Anichebe was almost in.
A tremendous confrontation there. Anichebe's a powerful boy. And that man, you've only to look at him.
They're fairly full-blooded. This is Osman. Jagielka.
Big Darren Moore's done well, you know, he's done everything asked of him. He's not found himself exposed to pace at all, he's just headed it and tackled when he's had to. Honest as the day's long.
He's done so again there. He's been up and down with various teams down the years. Leacock stepping in ahead of Johnson. Mears. Trying to get the better of Leighton Baines. It was a rather untidy episode in the end, but Baines looking at Andre Mariner in disbelief at the decision to award the kick against him.
Well, Tyrone Mears is very quick once he gets into his stride, and he's just stepped into him a little bit there, Leighton Baines. I don't think he can complain about the decision.
Lewis to float it in, Lescott to meet it. Now time running out for Derby, but they're still trying to ask some searching questions of Everton. It's Jones to Mears. 3 in the box. First touch let him down.
Certainly not the day to get one in the nuptials, shall we say. Freezing cold here now. Blow your whistle, referee.
Well, certainly there will be one or two out there who will want to get back into the warmth of the dressing room. It's Jagielka to help it forward. More activity in the Everton dugout. Free kick in favour of Leon Osman, who punished his former club when he got the chance. And it's a big goal. If they can see this through, there'll be 2 minutes of added time, and we're closing in on that. Neville to float it forward. Met by Lewis. This is Carsley. We are now going to have 3 minutes of added time. A change of mind amongst the officials.
Terrible decision.
I don't think a minute is going to make that much difference after being out here for a couple of hours. This is Ghali. And he'll get there again. And he will be penalised. The board going up for a change first of all, and it will be the departure of Mikel Arteta. It's not quite been a day to remember for the Spaniard.
Well, David Moyes taking the decision to bring an extra defender on now and just shore things up for the final minutes.
Of added time, 3 minutes.
Nuno Valente, the man to replace him, hasn't had all that many opportunities of late. Last appearance in the UEFA Cup here against Branbergen, which was a considerably more comfortable victory than this one.
Well, he will either go to left midfield, yes, which he is doing. Sometimes he goes to left back with Baines as left midfield in front of him, but obviously to show the left side up.
Towards Anichebe. Todd's header wasn't the ideal one in the end. Neville. Osman. Jagielka is up with him here. Johnson and Anichebe in the box. It's Valente to pick up the pieces. More to get it away. And Valente has won it back here. Carsley. Is there a final flourish for Everton? Carroll a little uncertain.
Well, he had his angles right, he knew where he was to let that go. In swinging cross, shall we say, from Carsley here. Roy Carroll must have known exactly where he was going.
He realised with room to spare in the end. Leacock will turn away from potential trouble. Now Miller. Garley. Villa. It's not had the greatest of days after a couple of goals last week. Fortunes have reversed a touch this week.
No, I don't think that he's been helped by the inclement weather, shall we say. Then certainly won't need too much washing that shirt this week.
Well, you get this in Mexico, do you? Which is where he's been. This is Miller. This is Miller again. Could he work a shooting opportunity? On to Andy Todd here. And behind by Valente, and there's maybe one more chance for Derby to go out with a leveller.
Well, vindication there of David Moyes' decision to shore up this side, because it was a defensive feel that Valente had that cleared that ball, otherwise there was big danger for the Blues.
Roy Carroll is up. And it was won by Jagielka. Moore trying to get a challenge in. Carroll is still lurking on the edge of the Everton box. And it's Neville behind.
Well, good defending this time by Phil Neville, defending his far post. Wasn't too happy last week with being substituted in the Derby game, but come out with his usual professional attitude today. Had a steady game.
Well, Roy Carroll looking to pose a threat here. The final minutes, it's gone beyond him. And Roy Carroll conceding a free kick in the Everton penalty area.
Well, it's a novelty, a goalkeeper complaining about the delivery from a corner. Committing assault there on Nuno Valente.
Somehow maybe had time to have a shot there. Carroll made his way back.
I think the game should finish now.
Well, that's it. Not vintage Everton, but the job is done, and they are still within striking distance of Liverpool in the race for fourth place and Champions League football next season. Leon Osman's goal against his former club, beautifully made by Manuel Fernandes, the highlight of a performance which was below their best, but it was certainly enough. The final score, Everton 1, Derby County 0.
Well, Leon, that's a vital win for Everton, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a big 3 points for us. You know, we've been on a sticky run of late, 1 point in 9. It was vital for us to get back into winning ways, and you know, we're pleased we did that today.
The result is the priority, isn't it? Never mind the performance, because Derby made it difficult for you today, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. You know, it always seems to happen when a club is relegated, as Derby were last week. That, you know, the pressure seems to be off and they can relax and enjoy their football. And you know, they came in and did that today and made it very difficult for us. It wasn't a pretty game, but you know, we're pleased we got the win.
And a goal for yourself, and I'm sure you've got a lot to thank Manuel Fernandes for that through ball for you.
Yeah, you know, we swapped positions at half time, and it seemed to work. You know, he cut inside and I made the run, and he put it right in my path. So, you know, it was a great ball from him, and, you know, I just managed to put it back to the net.
Well, Paul, do you think you could have got a point from that today?
I think so, yeah. I think for passing and movement, we were excellent. We just didn't have that little killer pass when we required it. We had a real good opportunity with Tito, but other than that, between the two boxes, I thought we were excellent. And you know, we pushed Everton all away. Pleased with the performance, disappointed not to get something out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, not too many teams come here and have that much of a game, do they?
Well, they're a good team, Everton, you know, and they're trying to get to that fourth spot. We're trying to just play for some pride, so there's probably more pressure on them, if you like. But I was pleased where we got it down. We passed it and we moved it, and we were composed up until the edge of the box, if you like, and we just didn't quite have enough, didn't take enough care, or didn't have enough quality at times. But I can't ask the players for any more than you've given me today. I thought we were excellent, and I definitely for me deserve something out of the game.
Well, David, that I imagine was a very welcome return to winning ways.
Very much so. 18 wins in the Premier League, 60 points, so it was very welcome.
What did you make of the performance today?
Well, at this time of the season, results are not always the way you want them to go. Derby made it very difficult for us. We didn't play as well as we can do, but at this time of the season, as you can see, people are just desperate to get the results, and thankfully we got those 3 points.
And it's a hugely significant 3 points, because you've closed that gap again on Liverpool after last week's defeat there.
And it's an important 3 points because we can keep a little bit of pressure on them, and you know, it gets us a little bit closer. We've gained 2 points again, but also keeps teams away from us.